Hello everyone, in this video we want to talk about the indirect function in the Microsoft Excel. The indirect function will get a text value, which that text is representation of the cell address, and then give back the value of that address cell value. So what I mean, it means that, for example, right now if you use equation in the cell and type a cell address, for example A2, which is this cell, and then press enter, you will have the value of armin, which is the value of this cell. But in the case that you have this A2 as a text string, which you have to use it in the double quotation, you will just have A2 value as the string. So we can use the indirect function. If you type the indirect function and give the indirect function the value, the text string of the A2, which is the representation of the cell A2 address, and then told that this indirect as use the A1 style, which means that use A as the column A and the 1 as the row 1 and all on so on. And if you use the false value, it will use A column as column 1, B column 2, and use the numeric values for the columns. So the false value will use the numeric values, and the true value will use the alphabetic values for the columns. So right now I have the A, which means I use the alphabetic columns name. So I have to tell the true as the second argument of the indirect, and if I close the parentheses and press the enter button, I will have the armin value. So what this function did, this function get the A2 text string and change it into the cell reference address. So right now you may say, what is the use of this function? We can just simply write A2 and have the value of A2 cell. So this function will be useful whenever you want to construct the cell reference by other function, for example concatenate function. For example, right now here I can use the indirect function and combination of the match function to find the values related to the, for example, Yossi name here. I want to find the Yossi value here, and I want to show the user other values related to this row, for example the family name, age, and specialty. We can use a lookup, VLOOKUP, match index, and another option is by using the indirect function. So I have to construct the cell reference B4 for Yossi. So first I need to find which row of this Yossi is there. So for example here by match function, which we taught previously in the previous videos, I find the value, the row value related to the Yossi. So I find the Yossi is in the row number 4. And now by using the indirect function, I have to find the family name. So by using indirect function and by knowing that this family name is in the B column of my table, I need to construct the cell reference, which will start by the column name B by using the combination operator AND, which this AND operator will combine two strings together. So I combine the B value, B text value, with these 4 number. So by this way I constructing the B4, because K2 is a 4 and combination of the B and 4 will be returned a text value B4 for me, and using the true value for the second argument, and if I press enter button I can have the Caboci as a family name. So for showing you how this combining construction of the cell reference works, I just use B as a text string and use AND operator as a combine operator, and I combine it with the 4 value which is in the K2. And if I press OK, you can see the B4 as a text string. So instead of the 4, I just use the K2. So I have the B4 as a string, and I use this string and I to give it to the indirect function, and indirect function change this string to the cell reference. So this is how it works. So if I change the Yossi to Arash, I can see the family name change it to the family name of the Arash, because the match function find the roll number of the Arash, and then in here I construct B3 value. And this is how this other function works. I use the C value as a column name in the age, and the D value as the specialty column name here as well. So this is the one use of the indirect. Another use of the indirect function is, for example, constructing the data validation, variant data validation. What I mean by variant data validation, for example, here I have the marketing text value, and in the second cell I want to choose the specialties related to the marketing. So here are engineering process, marketing, and graphic are this specialty related to the marketing. If I type technical value here as a unit, I will have the specialties related to the technical unit. So here I define my units and I define the specialties related to these units. And now I want to have variant data validation. How I can do that? I need to use names in the Excel. I need to name these values first, name these ranges first. For example, this range is related to technical. So I have to go to the formulas in the name manager, define names. I have to define names. I previously defined names and I want to show you how I define them. So I define them again. So I delete them and delete this one again. So right now we do not have any names, and I wanna create the variant data validation. First I have to select the range related to the technical units. I go and press the define name here and change this to the technical as a technical. So by pressing OK button, I have a name for this range as a technical name. Another one is the marketing. I have defined name for this range as well. So I define marketing, and another for finance. So I need to define name again for this list again. If you have other specialties for other units, you need to create these names for other units as well. So right now I want to have a data validation, variant data validation here as well. So because I have previously here, I want to construct it again. So right now if I press technical, I want to show my user the list of the specialties related to the technical units. So I have go to data, I have to press data validation. I need to use list. Here I need to write a formula. I need to write indirect formula, and in the indirect formula I need to place this cell because I want user write the unit value here, and indirect formula will get this string and change it to the reference, and if it's become the reference, it will be referenced to the cell range name that we defined previously in the name manager, and I have to use true as well. So if I press OK button, and right now here I have the list related to the technical units, and if I change this value to the marketing, I will have a list related to the specialty of the marketing, and if I change it to the finance, I will have a list of the specialties related to the finance. So this is how you can use indirect function for creating variant list data validation, and I hope this will be useful for you. Thanks for watching this video. Until next video, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diako Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diako.co.uk.